Hello, everybody. I am Goldilocks. This is the Goldie Show, and once again I welcome you. We are going to be doing what we're usually doing here. We're going to be trying to do it a little differently because I'm getting a little bored of just engaging with people who, at this point, have to be insane to support this man, right? So I'm going to do it a little differently, and I'm going to play this game while I do it. All right? Is that okay? Is it all right if I have some fun additionally while I do this? Is that okay? Hopefully it is, because we're doing it. So that said, we are here to do what we usually do, which is speak to MAGA about how they can possibly support Trump at this point in time. It's crazy, and I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense, and frankly, I know that these people have lost their minds. We're living in a nation where a fascist dictator is imposing his own will and rule on every single foundational government department, and seems like almost nobody is standing in his way except a couple of judges. Some of them federal, some of them state level, and it is what it is. We definitely need more people working for the American people at this point, or I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Outfit made in China. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I bought it pre-tariff, though. For sure. Yeah. So, anyway, if you're a Trumper, I want to talk to you. I want you to get up in the box so that I can talk to you about why you're wrong. And if we ever have lulls, then I will keep playing this game. Okay? Deal? In times like these, it is important to remember what America stood for when it was founded, right? We chose to separate from Great Britain because we were being taxed without representation. Now, a lot of people feel the same way today, right? The representatives don't represent the people. They represent themselves, and they represent the rich at best, right? At least the current administration only really cares about how rich investors feel about their policy. They think that lower and middle class Americans do not matter because what? Because we won't invest in whatever stupid projects they're trying to take on? Makes sense, but that's not what we're here for. That's not what this nation was made for, and frankly, I'm not having it anymore. I'm sick of it, and if you're not, frankly, at this point, I think you're just a psychopath, like an actual, literal psychopath that deserves to be berated until your existence ends. There are some exceptions to this that I have spoken with at length on this very live, who at this point still support him, but outright say that they regret their vote, which is at least something. I can't complain too much at that point. Like, at least you're maybe moving in the right direction. Now, that said, if, oh, wow, he didn't do the first move that he usually does. Hey, it is what it is. If you're the kind of person that is that's happy about what's going on, that's living in some kind of fantasy world where you can afford personally to be happy about the things that are happening to people, then I have absolutely no empathy for you because you have absolutely no empathy for anyone else. That's just how it is. People come up here and they try to say, why do you berate people for just believing something different than you? Because what you believe is that people deserve to be treated as less than. I don't know how to explain that to you any better. We probably do need to lower the volume on this game for it to be somewhat manageable here. So let's do this before we get too far. This might not even work. People might be weirded out by this, but we'll see. I've never tried to do this and play the game before. I am on Promised Consort Radon. This is the final boss of the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion for Elden Ring. Commonly touted as possibly one of the most difficult bosses in all Souls games. So, we're there. We'll see what happens. I am using summons because I am a chump at this game. If you are MAGA, I am actually waiting for you to come up here. I still don't have any requests. We do want to talk about why you support Trump. That is our main number one reason for being here. Why did the Dems cut... Why did the DMS? Why did the DMS13 cult vote for men to play in women's sports? DMS13? Is that what you're saying now? DMS13 cult? Why did we vote for trans women to be able to play in women's sports? Because trans women are women. That's the answer. I can only say that once or I will be banned, so that's the only time we're going to hear that, this live, but that's the truth. The end. It's that simple. It's impossible to dodge the little steps. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Banned for lying. No, we would be banned because since Trump brought the app back, we haven't been able to speak in the way that we want to, right? Because Trump doesn't support free speech. That's why he's deporting permanent legal residents purely for speaking. Your president that you support doesn't support the First Amendment or any of the Constitution. He openly opposes a lot of the amendments, actually. He's just anti-constitutional overall, kind of. It's amazing. Happy Friday, Harpo. How you doing? The TikTok mods shut us down for everything. Exactly. For sure. It used to be a little easier, but yeah, since Trump brought it back, there are just some things we cannot even touch. Just some things we cannot even touch. It is what it is. Look, if Trump doesn't want to allow certain kinds of speech, I'm going to say everything I can on this platform against him as long as I can. Because I'm a patriot, and you're not, if you support Trump. Now, look, all of this said, I do actually need MAGA guests to come up and talk about Trump. I know it's hard these days, because he's shown himself to be an actual fascist, a fascist freak. But you need to support your position. You need to come up here and actually talk about it. Oh, look, there's somebody. Hold on. Ah! All right, we'll let him kill us.
Yeah, I'm happy to fill in the gap, but I'm from the UK.
We'll let it slide this one time. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. You?
Pretty good. How old are you?
26.
And obviously you didn't vote for Trump, but we'll call that okay this time. Why do you support Trump?
I think he's got a good plan with the tariffs. I think it'll be good long-term for your country.
How?
I think it'll bring back manufacturing. A lot of consumer brands, they use China because it's cheap labor to produce their product.
Okay. Do you know he rolled back tariffs, made exceptions for the main things that we get from China?
Yeah, just because like electronics, you have to pay more for shipping. So it's just.
Oh, is that why? You don't think it's that doing that would just fucking destroy us, and somebody actually explained that to him?
Well, you don't have as much of a competitive edge with electronics because if you're going to make electronics, you don't have to worry about shipping no matter where you make it.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? All of the parts are still tariffed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we want to manufacture, if we do want to start to manufacture electronics, which we do, we absolutely do want to start doing that. That's what our economy has been trending toward for decades, right? We're not trending toward being a manufacturing economy. We're just not. It's not going to happen. Trying to force that is kind of, at this point, laughable. So, if we do want to get into the tech trades that we obviously want to get into, does it make sense to tariff the parts but not tariff the finished products?
I don't think he is. I think it's all exempt. So parts of tech and finished tech are both exempt. I think.
No.
All right. So you could still buy in parts and assemble the phone in the US, according to you. Is
Yes.
that right?
But the parts are tariffed.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's tariffed either way.
Okay, so it's harder for a business to buy the parts and assemble them in the US because of the tariff.
It is at the moment because there's no infrastructure yet. There's no cluster of.
Okay. How long
industry.
does it take to make the infrastructure for literally every product?
Oh, a good 5 years.
5 years? You think that's all it'll take?
I'd say the majority of the time is the time spent developing industrial parts. That's going to be the bulk of the time. If you're looking at like a giant industrial part like Foxconn would need, then it would be like 5 years. Yeah. I mean, smaller factories.
What I'm looking at is the time it would take to develop the infrastructure for every single product. For enough, let's make this better, because I know you're gonna attack that because you'll think it's wrong. Enough infrastructure to cover every single trade deficit, right? Because that's what Trump is trying to close the gap on.
So I don't think he's trying to bring absolutely all manufacturing back.
No, that's why I just amended what I said to include his actual goal.
What I think the kind of manufacturing will come back is when you can almost fully automate the assembly line, and you don't rely on labor on that assembly line, because at that point it doesn't matter.
Okay, so he's not looking to create jobs.
Not on the assembly line, but
Great.
managing an assembly line.
Okay, so he's eliminating jobs globally by doing this, right? Just to bring manufacturing back to the U.S.
They'll be eliminated either way because of automation, but with more automation comes jobs in engineering and developing it further, optimizing it to your product manufacturing, and more of the quality side than the quantity side.
How old are you again?
26.
Oh, okay. You're still idealist. Gotcha. Okay, so, yeah, all right. We have somebody else in the box.
All right, good talking.
Yeah, all right.
Did you miss me?
Chris, have you learned to actually care about this yet?
Yes, I care. I'm actually a Democrat now. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
So you haven't learned to actually care about discussions like this yet?
I do care. I do care. I've always cared.
Not with that kind of start. You're not making
What?
it seem like it.
I asked if you missed me. Thank you.
What did you come up to say? Say something.
I
Say
really
something.
I came to say hi to you.
Do you think that's what this live is for?
No.
Okay, then goodbye.
Oh, wow, that's so mean.
Learn to actually have a discussion, Chris. That's what I want from you. Once you can come up and actually talk to me like a reasonable human being, we can talk. All right, here's the thing. If you're MAGA and you actually want to defend Trump and you want to try to be reasonable about it, and you actually voted for him, that we're not taking people from the UK. That was a special exception because we had literally no other options. You need to have voted for Trump. You need to want to actually defend him. Get in the box. I will also start inviting you. It looks like my video's a little behind. It's because I'm using a lot of processing power because I'm playing Elden Ring while doing this, which has video previews in 3 different apps. So the video can lag a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. But I am starting to invite MAGA from the chat. So if you are MAGA and you're not coming up because you can't, you don't see the button, you don't know how, whatever reason, just comment MAGA. I will invite you. If you haven't followed, do so. If you haven't joined the team, do so as well. Also, if you would like notifications when I go live, go to my profile real quick, hit the bell on the top right, and then make sure in the second section that all is chosen. That will tell you when I'm live, so you can definitely come back here. You can't answer a reasonable scenario, and so this guy is an idealist. What was reasonable about the scenario? John Essen, 57. What was reasonable about his scenario? The scenario is we get absolutely fucked by tariffs. Let me explain this to you. What I was trying to get at before I realized I wouldn't even possibly be able to explain this to him in a way he could comprehend is that Trump subsidized China with his tariffs. Trump increased the tariffs on parts but didn't increase the tariff on finished product, right? Making it more economically feasible to just buy electronics from China than to build them here. Do you think that promotes manufacturing in the U.S., or do you think that detracts from manufacturing in the U.S.? Explain this to me. Answer this. I'm actually currently, I was doing the Giant Crusher, pretty much straight strength. I'm now doing Rakshasha's Great Katana with pretty much straight strength. I've always been super melee. I do not do the magic. Trump is your president. Okay. All right. We'll see how it goes. I mean, look, if you're here just saying Trump is your president, then you're a psychopath that literally doesn't know what's going on or has no empathy for anyone. Trump is just acting in direct opposition to the interests of the economy, to the interests of the people, in direct opposition to the Constitution, in direct opposition to his advisors, in direct opposition to his own appointees. Right? He wants direct control of the Fed to immediately lower interest rates, which would be quite inadvisable right now because of the market uncertainty that he created with stupid tariffs. It just doesn't make sense. Nothing he's doing makes sense. He doesn't have a plan for any of it. And frankly, it's hilarious. Rodrigo, you're not welcome up here anymore. I'm sorry, but you got off on the wrong foot. Do you want me to let you try one more time? I can bring you back up here for like 30 seconds and see how you do. See if you're going to be somewhat reasonable. And if you're not, I'll immediately have to kick you. Okay? Deal? Deal, Rodrigo? Is that a deal? Fair. All right. He said fair. He didn't say deal, but... Rodrigo,
Deal.
how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Deal.
How old are you again?
I'm in my 40s.
Okay, and we already know you voted for Trump, but why would you do that?
For many reasons, economic policies and stuff like that. Border economic, weaponization of the DOJ by the left, in my opinion, and factually. And just the fact that.
Okay, so investigating crimes is weaponization. Got it.
No, I never made that claim.
Yeah, you did.
How so and when?
You claimed there was weaponization of the DOJ by the left. So, yeah, investigating crimes according to you is weaponization.
I don't know how you got to that conclusion.
Okay. I don't care if you don't know how I got there. That's kind of obvious. That's fine. We can move on.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
What else would you like to talk about?
So, you like his economic policy so far? You like how he's handling things?
My opinion is that China is going to have to bend the knee, and when that happens, we're going to get a very favorable arrangement with them.
What makes you think that?
There's a whole lot of reasons, but one of which is that they two things. Number one, the Chinese economy is very, very good at making low-end products, and they struggle very, very much in making high-end products. So that's number one, and then number two is they
Definitely
don't
not what I've seen in the tech industry, but anyway, go off, King.
Okay.
I'm just, you can shrug it off with a K, but as somebody who actually works in the tech industry, they've kind of got a little bit of a jump on us.
In what area specifically?
All of them?
Like computer chips?
Yeah, like computer. Yeah.
Like NVIDIA's chips?
NVIDIA?
Yes.
Yeah, NVIDIA.
Correct.
Well, you said NVIDIA.
Sorry.
So you don't know much about tech?
So are they able to duplicate their tech? Yes or no?
Do you know much about tech? Yes or no?
I do, yes.
Okay, well, you said NVIDIA, so it just immediately threw red flags as not knowing much about tech, especially with all of the shit that's happened with graphics card over the past decade or so.
Well, I'm glad we cleared it up, and now we both understand that I do.
Okay, I still don't think you do, though. You saying yes doesn't necessarily indicate that you actually do, right?
Okay, well, we can have a conversation, and you could prove that. To ask me questions, and you can prove that I don't.
Yeah, what do we have a stranglehold on? What markets in tech?
Almost every major tech company is founded in the United States, outside of TikTok. So, Apple's here, Google's here, obviously X, all of the major tech is located here. And then the rest of the semiconductors for the world.
Apple, Google, X, those were your three examples.
Of the largest tech companies, yes.
Okay. All right. What a boring son of a bitch. All right. If you haven't followed, do so. If you haven't joined the team, do so. We're not going to have Rodrigo up again. That was your last shot, bud. You're done. At least you were more reasonable this time. I'll give you that. But no, you don't know what you're talking about. Don't try to talk about things you don't know about and try to make it sound like you do know about them. Sorry. It's not fun. It's boring, frankly. Guy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you tonight?
Pretty good. What do you got going on?
Not much. I was wondering if we could talk on the topic of immigration, specifically illegal immigration and the whole deportation with ICE that's been going on.
Yeah, sure.
So, in my opinion, I think that if you are illegal, whether you are contributing to society, gang member, any of that, I feel like you should be taken out of the country. And if you wish to enter legally. I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
That's a boring take, and you're dumb.
I mean, it seems like you have no argument for that, so
No, I do.
let me hear it.
Do you deserve it?
Yeah, I mean, clearly.
What do you mean clearly? You think you deserve a counter argument based on what?
That you can't provide anything for me?
I can.
Let me hear it.
Why do you deserve a counter argument? What have you said that
Prove me wrong.
What have you
Prove
said
me
that
wrong.
What have you said that actually warrants a counter argument?
I just wanted to hear your point of view on everything. That's all.
If
I
you
thought that's what the discussion was.
if you give me a reasonable take, you will have earned a counter argument.
That was that not reasonable?
Yeah, it's completely unreasonable.
Why is that?
Okay, so you're not in favor of people who actually contribute to society being in America.
If they're here illegally, I think they should take.
Right, so there are people who are nothing but a contribution to society that you do not support being in America.
Yes, because I feel they should be here legally.
That's silly. Why?
Because they're breaking the law. It's against.
And
It's illegal.
have
in
you
the
never
name.
broken the law?
This is a pretty major law. I mean, why should we let it fly for other people?
It's a misdemeanor.
Not really.
It
no,
is
no.
actually a misdemeanor by law. Yes. So how about you don't spew misinformation, bud? That doesn't fly over well either.
I'm really not. So you're saying that if you're legal, but you're a rapist, but
You
you're
can't.
going through
Hey! Hold on! Shut up! You cannot say the word. Say grapist. It might
Sorry.
sound juvenile. Do it anyway.
Sorry, rapist. I forgot TikTok guidelines. I know they're always stalking
Yeah.
around.
So to be clear, entering the country illegally is a misdemeanor. You can't say it isn't. That's the law.
I'm just saying, if you have grapists, they come in, millions of grapes happen that go undetected. But
Okay.
now, those
Well, millions by whom?
men, I mean, what do you mean by whom?
So just people in general. You're not saying via
Okay.
undocumented immigrants.
I'm specifically illegal immigrants.
You're saying millions go
Okay.
unreported,
I'll tone it
committed
down.
by
Thousands.
undocumented
I will tone it
immigrants.
down. I will say thousands. However,
What makes you
There-
say thousands?
what
What
I don't know.
evidence
Maybe
is
I'll
there
just-
for this?
And
Yep.
literally, you could Google it. Any source will say it.
Any source will say thousands have been proven to be committed by undocumented immigrants.
Yes,
Per
I'm not saying
year?
that everyone is documented.
Like, what timeline are we talking about here?
Since the birth of the nation, I mean, it's been going on.
Okay, then yeah, I believe thousands, sure.
Yes.
Since the birth of the nation, yeah. If you want to go literally sure.
But all the way till now, yes. But now those people are now
yeah.
in the country.
This is gonna be great.
They're going to jobs. They're truck drivers. They're whoever. They're
Yeah.
now, yes, they're contributing to society. But at the same time, though, they're grapists.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Now, listen to this again. What you are saying is that don't teacup, don't fucking leave the app. Get the hell back in here. What are you doing? We're talking. I'm going to have to kick you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're kicked, I guess. Great talk. I'm not wasting my time waiting for you to get back in some undetermined amount of time. What he was arguing was that even if an undocumented immigrant is nothing except a benefit to society, they still need to leave. I disagree. We couldn't even get to the point where we were having an actual conversation about it because he teacupped for 30 seconds. Get out of here. Talk about it or leave. Apparently you decided to leave. Jesus Christ, what is happening here? And yes, exactly, Yvette, undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than American-born citizens. This has been shown roundly, year over year, without any fail. How are you doing?
Aren't you tired of dick sucking Donald Trump? You've been doing that for years now. You're not tired?
How am I?
Little bitch,
How is that what I'm
little
doing?
bitch, you little bitch.
Are you gonna actually have? Okay, you're just very mature. Yeah. Anyway, that's MAGA. That illustrates the point, if nothing else does. That is not a lie. Just by literally any documentation, literally any source will tell you that American-born citizens are more likely, per capita, to commit violent crimes than undocumented immigrants, which just logically is obvious. That's an obvious conclusion, right? If you're an undocumented immigrant, you would be afraid of committing violent crimes, right? You're going to be deported for it. They're going to find you because of the investigation associated with the violent crime, and you will be deported. That is not false. I don't know what I need to tell you to get you to believe that, but that is absolutely 100% fact. I will invite you to talk about it. MDOS23, I sent you an invite. They used to be grateful to be in our country, now anti-American. According to whom? According to whom? Also, user, your invites are off because you're a coward. Larry, I'm inviting you as well. Come on up, talk about it. Work visas are real. He was right.
You know, you're right. American citizens do create more violent crime. There's no doubt about that. But there are more American citizens.
No, hold on. I said per capita. Did I not?
Okay. But
do you understand what that means?
I do.
Okay, then why'd you come in? Why was that your start?
Well, I was agreeing with you there.
No, you were okay. But what you said wasn't agreeing with me, right?
No.
Actually,
whether it's per capita or not per capita, there's more violent crime committed by.
Okay, fantastic. That was a terrible start, but anyway, how old are you?
I'm 61.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did.
Why?
Lots of reasons. I don't think Kamala was.
Kamala.
It? Whatever.
No, it's not whatever. Say Kamala or say Harris. Don't say her name wrong.
I didn't vote for her because she wasn't qualified. Camilla.
Don't say her name wrong. You do it one more time, you will be kicked because you can't have an actual conversation with a human adult.
A human adult?
Yes, me. You can't hold a reasonable conversation so far with an actual adult human being, so unless you say her name right, either one of her names, unless you say one of them right now, you will be kicked.
I think I'm a child.
Yes, actually.
Well, I'm 61-year-old.
Okay, and you deserve for me to think that you're a child based on how you're acting so far. Now, do you want to continue speaking up here? Do you want a platform to support your leader?
No, not with you.
Okay, then have a good one. Take it easy. And I don't mean have a good one. I actually don't. If you haven't followed, do so. If you haven't joined the team, I see some people doing it. Welcome. Do that as well. Please join the team. I would love to have you back. If you want notifications when I go live, go to my profile, hit the bell on the top, and make sure all is chosen in that second section for lives. Joker, how are you doing?
I got a question to ask you.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
How old are you?
How can you talk to a
How old
senior
are you?
like- how can you talk to
How
a senior?
old are you, Joker?
I'm 54.
I start with every guest the same way, so you're going to follow this little script and then we can talk about it. You're 54. Did you vote for Trump?
I'm a Canadian who would not vote for Trump.
Okay, then why should I talk to you? Give me a good reason to talk to you about this right now, or we are not going to continue.
You're an asshole. I just wanted to tell you that. The way you act to people, you're disgusting.
Okay, so you would vote for Trump, for sure.
You're disrespectful, and you're going to be reported for your actions tonight because it's very hateful.
Okay, you
Disrespect.
understand that I act almost the same way every single time I get up here and haven't had a problem yet.
Well, if you haven't, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble because that disrespect is very just what this world does not need. Right
Oh no. What we need is to bow down to Trump, right?
You're just a hateful person. I don't know what happened.
Do you know what?
life,
Do you know what
but
Trump?
You're taking
do
your
you know,
hatred
shut up.
out
Do you know what
inside.
Trump wants from us?
No, I won't shut up.
Shut
you
up.
don't disrespect.
Shut up, Joker.
Me. No, I
Do you
won't
know
shut
what
up.
Trump wants
Why
from
would
us?
I shut up?
Do you know what Trump wants
you
from
can
us?
talk to anybody. This
Joker, do you know what Trump wants from his citizens? This is a very serious question. Do you think he's still yelling into his mic? Joker, hello. You can unmute now. I asked you a question. Do you know what Trump wants from his citizens, from his constituents, if you can call us that? Unmute yourself, bud. I'm inviting you to speak via a question. There you go. Do you know what Trump wants from his citizens?
like I mentioned.
Joker, do you know what Trump wants from his citizens?
Tell me. You don't want to talk to people. You just want to talk over them. You're rude, man.
Oh no, I'm so concerned about what Joker thinks about me.
I can't talk to you any further because you're just disgusting.
Okay, then
You're
then get out of here. Why are you even here to begin with? Then I don't care. Leave. I'm here to talk to American citizens that voted for Donald Trump because they're bad people. Because if you voted for Trump in his second term running for president, you are a bad person. That's it. There really is no redeeming you. You can try to get on the right path going forward, and hopefully you stick to it, and hopefully you do better in due time. But at least right at this moment, you are a bad person. The only redeeming quality you could possibly have right at this moment is having regretted your vote, is regretting your vote right now. That's the only possibility for redemption at this very second.
What's up, boss? How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Sorry, I can't quite hear you well.
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
And did you vote for Trump?
Of course.
What do you mean, of course?
I mean, you only want people up here to be opposed to your views, so I figured that was just like a given that I'm up here. That I would request to join.
We let friendlies up here too, but yeah, generally
Gotcha.
generally we only have lengthy discussions with Trump supporters.
Gotcha.
Why did you vote for Trump?
I just thought he was better. I like what he has to say about my people in the Gaza Strip and in Israel.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you like the video he released?
I haven't seen the video he released.
Okay. Yeah, it was a video of basically having turned Gaza Strip into a casino with a
Oh, yeah, I
giant
saw
golden
that.
Trump statue. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
sounds
good
sounds
foreign
good,
policy.
actually. I think so. I think
Okay.
it's good for the Americans and
well-
good for the Israelites as well.
Oh, it's good for Israelites. I see. So your people is Israel. That's what you're referencing. So you actually support the genocide being carried out against the Palestinians.
It sounds like you support the we'll start this basis off by saying Palestinians aren't a real term because the word.
Okay, so
Palestine
yeah,
isn't
no,
real.
I understand what you're about to say. Shut the fuck up. So yeah, Palestine is a nation of people
No,
who
it's not.
recognize themselves, right? That's all it takes for a nation to
Palestine's
be a
not
nation. That is all
That's
it
not
takes for a
recognized
nation
by
to be.
anybody on Earth.
Actually, it's recognized by most countries on Earth.
Beg to differ.
That's not a matter that you can differ on. This is a
Yeah,
fact.
I can.
This
Show me
is a
Palestine on any recognized map.
100% a fact
Any recognized
that
map.
most actual
When was
countries
Palestine?
recognize
When
them
was
as a
the term
nation.
Palestine created in the 1970s? It's an unfactual. It's not a real thing. It's not a real country. It's the Gaza Strip and the West Bank is occupied by the Arabs that live there.
We understand what your position on this is. You don't have
It's
to
not a
explain
position.
it.
It's a fact.
It is a position. It's a
It's a
fact
fact.
that most countries are on my side. I'm sorry, but your feelings don't affect the actual facts.
It's not a feeling,
It is
brother.
a feeling, brother.
It's real.
It is a feeling, brother.
It's real.
So if you're actually for the genocide of a full,
It
actual
sounds like you're
full
for the
group
genocide
people,
of the Jewish people.
shut the fuck up. What I'm for.
You're just a dirty
what I'm
American,
for
bro.
is for the Israeli government being dismantled because of their actions.
That's
Is
insane.
for Netanyahu being pulled out
So you
into
don't
the.
think Israel has
Shut
the right
up!
to
I'm telling
defend
you what I'm
itself?
for.
I don't care what you're for. I'm asking you a question.
Shut up, dude.
You
What
don't think-
I'm for is for
You don't think Israel
Netanyahu
has
being.
the right to defend itself?
What I'm for is for Netanyahu being pulled out into the street and slaughtered like a dog.
Alright, so what I'm for is the Gaza Strip to be bombed fully from top to bottom. Every single individual in the Gaza Strip. What's your opinion on
That's
that?
what I was looking for from you because I knew that was your position on it. Thank you for
What's your
showing how
opinion on
much of a
that?
terrible fucking human being you are.
What's your
Good
opinion?
day. We're not going to entertain a guest who's actually in favor of genocide. That's what I had to pull from him because that's what we're not going to talk about. That's actually not what we're doing here, believe it or not. We're not here to support genocide at all. Sorry, you don't get to speak. If you're an actual Nazi, right? You don't get to come up here. I apologize for hurting your feelings by kicking you. Joker, are you offended? Do you want to come back up? Also, Sal's Kamara, you caught a flag. I have to actually block you. Sorry, bud. Good job. You're on the wrong side. Yeah, I'm on the side that doesn't deport actual permanent legal residents for speaking. Whoops. I'm on the side that isn't playing directly from the fascist handbook that Hitler wrote. That's the one time I can say that name because Donald Trump doesn't like free speech and he brought this platform back. Do you always get this level of do you always get this level of MAGA here? No, not always. Sometimes they're actually legitimate people. No. This guy tried to request again. No, we're not going to have you. I don't know what to tell you, bud. Sorry. Anyway, if you're MAGA, get up in the box. I will gladly talk to you about why Trump is the worst president ever to grace the podium in the White House. The worst president ever to grace the desk in the Oval Office. The worst president of the United States ever, hands down, period. We've had some bad presidents. Don't get me wrong. It's not like every other president was good, and he's the first bad one. He's just the worst of all of them, by far, already. If you don't believe this, you're wrong. The Hague must bring Netanyahu to justice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, there you are, Brendan. All right. Thank you for showing up in the chat. That's where I can take action. Good job. Smart. Free speech, he says. Yes, free speech. You know, the First Amendment. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to talk about it, Cap? I just sent you an invite. Cap, I just sent you an invite. If you don't want to get up in the box, you're a coward, right? Like, just by definition, you are a coward if you don't get up in the box. Okay, you don't have to. He is the worst. But one thing he does right, it's support for Israel. Gross. Absolutely gross. The Israeli government currently is actually committing a genocide. That's what they're doing. So supporting that is supporting genocide. So if you're supporting that, you're advocating for destroying an entire population of people. Good job. Very smart. Very smart. Jesus Christ, you people are weird. Oh, you people are weird. I will invite you to talk about it, Old Moose, though. I will see what you have to say. You know who supports Israel? Harris. Yeah, actually. Yeah, that was the one qualm I had with her, actually. Yeah. That was the one major problem I had with her when she was running. Good bully for you, I guess. You know who's worse in literally every regard you could possibly point to? Her opponent in this presidential election cycle. Literally every single possible metric you could point to, Trump was worse. This is not hard. It's not a hard decision. Clearly not. America voted for him. That's literally a logical fallacy. I don't know what to tell you, bud. McGregor, I did also invite you. I invited you to speak up here. Are you a coward? You should have an invite somewhere on your screen. Are you a coward? You guys lack critical thinking. Oh, it's Old Moose. You finally found the invite. How's it going?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah. How old are you?
56.
And are you in the UK?
In US?
Yeah? Okay.
United States. In Washington, D.C., to be exact.
Okay. We just get a lot of people actually from the UK, so I'm a little suspicious when I hear an accent. Anyway.
I'm Russian. I was born in Moscow.
Okay, now you've said enough for me to recognize that. All right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Ukrainian conflict then?
Oh, I support Zelensky.
Okay,
I absolutely
great.
support
Fantastic.
Ukraine.
Do you support Trump?
I absolutely don't.
Okay, fantastic. So you're friendly.
I'm not friendly when it comes to Israel because, members of my family were sitting under Hamas attacks since October 7
and?
In Tel Aviv. And, we're talking about genocide. It started on October 7.
No, it didn't.
And in my point
That's
of view,
patently false.
No, okay. Well, the current situation was provoked by October 7.
That's not when any of this started. It's again patently
I
false.
do understand.
Painting this entire situation as if it started on October 7th is patently false, and I'm not going to let it slide.
Listen, understand what I'm trying to say.
Sure, but if you say anything that's patently false, I'm going to have to interrupt you again. Just saying that outright.
Fine. That's fine. But never before Israel has had such a response to Gaza before October 7th. There were some excursions into Gaza before, but never on this scale. This is number one. Number two, never number of Israeli citizens were abducted and killed by Hamas before October 7th. Would you say this is false?
No. Like I said, this didn't start on October 7th. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Okay. I do understand that the conflict started long before that. However, the current response, the military response, the heavy-handed and devastating and deadly response by Israel was provoked by October 7th, because we never had this kind of response before.
No,
is that true?
Absolutely not. So, no, because what you're trying to get me to say is that the response from Israel is somehow justified due to the attack, right? Is that what you're trying to get me to say?
I'm not trying to get you to say that. That's what I think.
Okay, well, that's outrageously false, right?
Why?
How should we respond to a cell of individuals committing a heinous act?
How do we have to respond to cell? Well, how did we respond to 9/11?
This is not an answer to the question, is it?
No. How do we have to respond? The different countries respond to different ways, with a different situation.
Oh, so responding with genocide is one of the possible ways, and it's justified, according to you.
Well, how does the attack on Taliban and Afghanistan and taking entire government off.
Okay, now this is
So
what
the
aboutism.
number of people is different from the
Do
from
you
the
think I
Gaza.
support that?
Huh?
Do you think I support that?
No.
Okay, great.
I think it's absolutely justified. I mean,
Okay,
you don't do
so-
this
so
kind of
you-
shit.
okay,
And,
great.
That's what I think.
Yeah, so no, generally what we do is send a black ops team to go out and take out the actual members of the cell with as few civilian casualties as possible. What is the Israeli government doing instead of that?
So you called the 20 to 30,000 trained Hamas fighters a cell. So you want to send a commando team, 10 people, to find 20 to 30,000 Hamas fighters there? That's what you want?
I want to, if nothing else, I want a government to send in as many people as necessary, but in such a way as to protect actual civilians. That's what I want.
Okay, how do you protect actual civilians when in a high rise in Gaza, which is like 16 stories high, on the 7th floor, there is a command post of Hamas, and other floors, there's just normal people living there. How do you protect the civilians? Or do
By
you
not killing them indiscriminately?
Sure, so why don't we leave the command
No,
post of Hamas?
this is not something I'm even going to entertain. You realize that?
Why
Like,
not?
but
Why not?
to protect citizens, you just avoid killing them indiscriminately. That's the answer. Easy.
Do you know what the ratio is? The ratio compared to other wars between the killed civilians?
Yeah, it's disgustingly high. Yes.
No, it's actually very low.
Oh,
Check
oh,
it,
sure, sure.
Check it.
Yeah, I have regularly.
And
Yeah.
what's the number? And what's the
We
number?
don't know because Israel won't report the number.
So Israel don't report the number.
Yeah.
So you
So
operate
no,
by the
no,
number?
don't even
I'm sorry.
continue. Don't continue. Hold on.
No, why not?
No, hold on. Stop moving your lips. Shut
Okay.
the fuck up about this, right?
Oh, that's very nice. It's very nice.
Yes,
just
it
talking
is
about
very nice because what you're doing is actually, and this is the same as the last guy, you're literally supporting an actual genocide. So grow the fuck up and support the people who are being exterminated.
even international.
No, hold on.
it's
Shut
not
your mouth
called
again.
genocide.
Shut your mouth again. Shut your mouth again. Goodbye. The end. I already said I'm not going to entertain that. Why did you come up here? This is not what we're going to do. I'm not even going to entertain you supporting Israel's actions over there. It's not going to happen. I have done more research on this than you. I guarantee it. I have actually been punched in the face before. Kyle David? Kyle David. I sent you an invite, by the way. So you can come up and try to berate me, because I know you're going to come in with that energy. It's going to be great. By not killing over 40,000 innocent men, women, and children. Exactly, Big Dre. That's the whole thing. Just maybe try to avoid killing civilians. And I gotta stop saying that. I gotta start doing the unaliving, right? Gotta start saying that. Kyle and David, I sent you multiple invites. Come up and speak. Lag be real? Yeah. How about you come up and speak? It's because I have Elden Ring open. I gotta close the game. I'm not gonna be able to pay attention to it anyway. Oh, can I not do this here? Only Patriots vote Trump. Come up and talk about it. You're not in the box yet, David. Oh, and your invites are off. You're just a coward. So, yeah, actual patriots would be willing to come up and talk about their king, which is what you seem to want, right? A king. So, it is what it is, bud. Look, If you haven't followed, do so. If you haven't joined the team, do that as well. If you're MAGA, get up in the box, because that's literally your entire job here. That's your whole job. And don't worry, I'm closing out the game. End task. Haha. There we are. Welcome back, everyone. Hey, look. Hey, look. Oh, wow. It's the lag because of my CPU being at 80% because I have 3 different streaming services and a game open. Wow. Who would have guessed? Anyway, now you have my undivided attention. Are you having fun? Is somebody actually, like, is somebody in there saying political science student as if that's a joke? Like, if I was a political science student, wouldn't that give me more authority to speak? No, because you don't trust education. Right. Because you're stupid. Anyway, Flips World, I sent you an invite, so if you're not a coward, you'll come up and talk about it. How much is Soros paying you? As if we've never heard that one before. Look, if Soros wants to cut me a check, I will gladly take it. Gladly. Point me in his direction. I will gladly take it. I also sent you an invite again, Kylum David. So you're a coward. That's the 3rd time, and I'll be blocking you in 3, 2, 1, block. All right. If you're not going to come up here as MAGA, if you're MAGA and your plan is to just stay in the chat, you're useless to me. So I'm going to give you 3 invites, and if you don't accept on the 3rd one, you're going to be blocked. You're absolutely useless to this live. Nobody wants you here if you're not actually going to get up and talk about it. Just came in out of the snow. I'm so over it. I mean, I feel that. I got mine with my Doge check. Nice. Hell yeah. If Soros was paying, he wouldn't be wearing a Goodwill shirt. Nice. Clever. Do you want to talk? I sent you your first invite, Craigerpotamus. I sent you your first invite. I'm going to send you another one here in about 10 seconds when it lets me again. Trump is your president. Stop crying. Your invites are off, Smitty. You're a useless coward. Rotten Tongue, living in mommy's house. I'd pay for this house. I don't know what you think. Rotten Tongue, your invites are off. You're a worthless coward. Anyway, we're living in a time in America when actual U.S. citizens have to be fearful because if Trump takes one more baby step away from constitutional directives, he'll actually start deporting U.S. citizens. And in fact, there have been whispers that he already has. Deporting U.S. citizens, I don't know if anybody realizes this, but that's just blatantly unconstitutional. Obviously. Like, there's not even a question whether that's unconstitutional. There's not even a question about it. Rotten Tongue, your mom. All right, anyway, I did want to invite you, but since your invites still aren't on, then you're useless to this live. Blocking you. See ya. Have a good one. I'll talk. What do you want to talk about? I'm sending you another invite, so accept the invite on the top of your screen. Since you said I'll talk, this is your last chance. This is your last chance to accept the invite I gave you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, block. All right. Good job. I'm packing some fabulous outfits to take to the camps. Same, actually. I'm kind of prepared. I've dressed pretty well for a lot of my life. Not gonna lie. Nice hair, misfit. I do better than you, Chris. I do better than you. Anyway, I sent you an invite to talk to me, to come up and talk to me with that kind of energy. Chris, how are you doing?
Better than you, buddy.
How old are you?
I am 42.
Nice. Did you vote for Trump?
Absolutely.
Nice. You do realize that I'm talking to you quite reasonably so far, right?
Usually, you're pretty much of a dick to everybody that comes on your live.
Okay, but do you?
Well, I'm just here.
But just
well, I'm just here to tell
real
you,
quick.
you're a
Hold on,
bitch.
hold on.
You were a bitch. You're a pussy.
Hold
You're
on,
scared.
but real
Everything
quick,
you say
I'm
pretty much is
literally
fucking retarded.
not afraid. One, retarded is
Oh,
a slur.
dude, you are scared. You are scared.
Okay, I don't look scared. So
Oh, yes,
just
you do,
just to say
Goldilocks.
one more time.
Look at you.
Just to say
Look at you.
one more time.
And the way you talk to a lot of your people,
One
a
more
lot
time.
of people.
I am talking to you very reasonably right now, right? You're the one that came in with a disrespectful attitude. So how am I supposed to respond to that? Just out of curiosity, when you come up automatically disrespecting somebody, what kind of response do you think you'll get? Do you think you'll be their friend? Is this how you treat people on the street? You wouldn't talk to me like this in real life, because you're scared. You're scared of behaving the way you do. I will talk to you like this in real life, because I'm not. I would gladly address you in the way I am right now. I'm not even saying anything unreasonable, right? But you would never come to me with that kind of energy just on the street. Never. Because you're a coward, afraid to express your actual inner opinion. You can unmute yourself now. Hopefully you haven't just been screaming into the void, bud. I don't want you to waste energy like that. I want to have a discussion with you, okay? I want to have an actual discussion, so unmute yourself. Anyway, if you haven't followed, do so. If you haven't joined the team, do that as well. There you are. Thank you. You want to start again?
Start again.
Yeah.
You
How old are
always
you?
treat other people like
He doesn't want to start again. All right. We're going to give him one more chance once he unmutes himself again, and if he does it again, we got to let him go. We got to let him go. I'm sorry, but we just can't have somebody who's unreasonable up here for too long, right? Like, we're not
See, there
getting
you go.
anywhere.
There you
Chris.
go, mute me. What a
Yeah,
pussy.
well,
what a pussy.
look,
I
do
wish
you-
I
do
would
you-
see you in
do
the
you
street
wanna
because I
start
would
on
treat
the
you
right
just like
foot?
this.
No, you wouldn't. Because you're the coward here, right?
I'm the coward?
Yes.
I'm confronting you on how you treat people on your live
I'm confronting
that
you.
disagree with you. Goldilocks.
Let me explain this to you. Let me
Goldilocks.
explain this to you
Nice
one more
hair,
time.
bitch.
Let me
Nice
explain
hair,
this to you
bitch.
one more time. Wow, very, very mature. Let me explain
Oh,
this to
very
you one
mature.
more time. Okay? Just listen for a second. Let me explain this. Actually, just listen to me for a little bit. Just
I'm listening
suck
to you.
up your pride.
Go for it.
Listen to me for a little bit.
Suck up my
right?
pride.
Yes.
It
You
has nothing to
can't-
do with
You're
me.
so
It has to do
prideful,
with-
dude. It's all right. You have a
I'm
big
not
ego.
prideful.
You just let the ego go for a second and listen.
I'll let the ego go,
Hold your
but I'm
horses.
just confronting
Hold
you
your
on how
horses.
you treat people
Just-
on your live.
I've been very reasonable to you so far.
I
And
don't care
that's-
if you're reasonable with me or not, bud.
Well, then why are you up here? Like, what do you want out
To
of this?
tell you that you're a fucking piece of shit.
Well, that's useless. What use is that?
Okay, that's useless. All
How
right,
is
go
that
ahead.
constructive?
It's constructive by telling you you're a piece of shit the way you treat people.
Okay, great. How is it constructive?
Just by what I said.
What are you trying to
It's
achieve?
obviously going
What is
over
your
your head.
goal? What are you trying to achieve?
To tell you the way you treat people that come on your live that disagree with you, that you're an ass.
So your goal has already been achieved, right?
It doesn't seem like it, but it is what it is.
Okay, so is your goal for me to understand what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that you're a fucking retard.
Okay, that's a slur again. Don't do that.
Oh, what are you gonna do? Block me?
No. Because you actually came up here and talked. I won't block you.
All right, so go for it. I'm listening.
Okay, that's I like that energy. That's chill. So when people come up here with the type of energy that you came up here with, there's no way I'm going to be able to have a reasonable discussion with them. There's no way. This is like, we've gotten to a good space here, right? That last answer you gave me had the energy of somebody who's actually willing to talk. I love it. That's what I'm here for. I want to have actual conversations with people about this stuff so that we can get somewhere where maybe we both learn something. That's what I'm in this for. Just one more thing. Most of the people that come up here come up with that same energy you did. Only a very small percentage actually end up backing off of that, right? So I'm very glad that you did. Now, did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
Why?
Because I liked his policies. Nothing that Biden was doing seem like it was working in any American's favor.
By the way, if you can put F1 in the chat, just everybody put F1 in the chat to cover the, the TOS stuff. Nothing that Biden was doing seemed to be in Americans' favor. That's what you said, right?
Correct.
Okay, and Trump was running on policies that you enjoyed that you thought would be in Americans' favor.
Oh, absolutely.
Like what?
Well, the whole inflation thing, I know it's still up. It is slowly coming down.
It's not still up.
Well,
By
at
the by
grocery
the
store,
by the end of Biden's administration, he had reduced it from 9% at its height to around 2.3, which is the lowest Trump ever had it in his first term.
that is probably off what it was originally.
What does that mean? What are you trying to say?
It may have been down from what it was originally, yeah, but it's not down that much. It came down what you said by whatever Biden had it at one point. Was it like 9% under him?
Yeah, due to the economy reopening with shortened supply chains after COVID, it quickly shot up to 9%, right? Which of course we can both acknowledge was a global problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was definitely a global problem because the Democratic Party, including with China, they caused that problem with
Okay, you can I would actually love to talk about that, but we can't. You will catch a flag in like 30 seconds for misinformation. Yeah. Like the TikTok doesn't like that at all.
Gotcha.
It's a real shame, man. There's so many things we just cannot talk about on this platform because this TOS is going to destroy us.
Here's the deal. One of my best friends was a Democrat. Him and I literally could have conversations.
Yeah.
It would get heated. So therefore, him and I literally walked away from never talking about politics. And then I don't know what changed in his mind. He voted for Obama twice. And then in 16, he didn't vote at all because he didn't like Hillary, didn't want Trump. And then in 2024, he voted Trump. So okay. I have no problem where I'm getting with this is I have no problem talking to people about this. And I will say, I'm sorry for coming off hostile towards you.
No, yeah, it's fine. I get it. Like, if you've been sitting in here if you were sitting in here the past 30 minutes or an hour, I haven't had any decent guests yet. Like, nobody has come up here with the actual intent to speak, right? It's been a weird night.
And I've caught you on a couple lives that you've done earlier this past week. Yeah. And so, yeah.
Yeah. It's been actually I've been thinking about this a lot, and this is a good chance to address it. I think part of, not all of what is happening, but I think part of what is happening is that this administration is just behaving flagrantly poorly. Like, they're absolutely anti-constitutional. They are absolutely shown to be consistent liars just across the board, and what they're not lying about is just even worse when it comes to following the Constitution, right? Like, they've said it's an actual intent to deport U.S. citizens. And yes, you can say they're criminals. That's what they're arguing for. But that doesn't matter. That's still unconstitutional. There's no question about it. And the fact that an actual U.S. administration is even floating that as an idea is both abhorrent and frightening.
My thing is from looking at it, because Trump to me had better ideas than what Kamala had, I always keep an open mind when there's a new election. I don't look at it from right wing, left wing. I keep an open mind to see who has the better policies.
Okay, yeah. What was one of Kamala's policies?
I didn't believe anything she even was saying, to be honest with you, because she said in that one interview when they asked her, what would you have done different with the President Biden did at the time? She said she couldn't think of nothing. There could have been.
She said, word for word, she said nothing comes to mind. That was in like the first week of her campaign, I think. Did you, at any point after that, read the actual campaign promises that she wrote up? It was an 83-page document, fully detailed 83-page document that covered literally any issue you could possibly have asked about.
My thing is when she was vice president, she should have stepped in when inflation was going higher, and especially with gas prices. I know people say presidents can't control gas prices, but when he shot those gas prices up by stopping our U.S. drilling, then that is when inflation all
We
started.
had more drilling contracts under Biden than Trump.
He shut down the Keystone Pipeline.
Okay, the portion of the Keystone Pipeline that he shut down wasn't producing anything. And also, that was a Supreme Court decision. He couldn't have possibly done anything about it legally.
When Trump left office, we were under $2 a gallon, at least here in Ohio.
Okay, right, you heard what I said, right? That was a Supreme Court decision.
Yeah, but the thing is I just don't understand. There was nothing like, we're self-employed, and I will say, even going back to being self-employed, what you did say, I can't remember if it was Monday, Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, whenever one of your last lives were, you did say you were for the mom and pop shops, which I was very shocked. Yeah. And you literally surprised me on that. So
Kamala's tax policies totally would have benefited you more than Trump's tax policies. By far.
Well, when he was elected in 2016 with our mom and pop business that we run, when he stepped foot in the office, within just a few months, we saw a massive turnaround with business compared to what we saw the 8 years under Obama.
Vaguely, what industry are you in?
Delivery service.
Okay.
Furniture, appliances.
How is that right at this moment, and how does it seem to be going?
It's doing better now. We were literally struggling the last year under Biden's administration.
Okay. You do know that less product is coming in at this point due to the tariffs?
Absolutely. Now I do. Yes, I do know that now with the tariffs.
Yeah.
But
do you think that will negatively impact you in the short term?
It's possible, but now some of the stuff we do is no longer made overseas. It's actually made here in America.
Well, that's good. You did say some, though. So,
yes.
What?
So,
on a percentage basis, how much of a hit do you think you'll take?
Maybe 15% now.
Okay. For a lot of businesses, that's a pretty bad hit.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is we're just distributing merchandise to either customers or to warehouses. Okay. So we don't, we don't have to buy nothing. But I understand where you're going with it.
Yeah, because ultimately your customers have to buy the product, right?
Absolutely.
Even if you're just middlemanning it, they have to be willing to pay for it with the new prices.
Exactly.
Yeah. That makes sense. I'm glad you're doing well right now, for sure. Hopefully you continue to do well.
Yeah, that's all I want for the American people. Us as Americans, we should not have to struggle at all. And I do believe both parties will lie to us as individuals on TV, online, so we give them our votes. I don't trust either party, to be honest with you.
Overall, I think most politicians don't do that. I think most politicians in government literally do not just lie for votes. I think most of them, I'm not saying all, but I think most of them are actually running on what they want to do. Now, bureaucracy doesn't always allow them to do everything they want to do, but that's not lying, right? That's them trying to get things done and the actual system standing in the way. Sometimes for good reason. Sometimes law is just going to be bad for people.
Oh, I understand that.
My main issue right now is, and it's so hard to talk about fiscal policy, right? Because one, Trump has signed a quarter of the American debt into law already, a quarter of all of it. So that's just fiscally irresponsible, right? He had no way to pay for his tax cuts.
Yes, I agree.
And that's insane. And two, like my main thing right now is actual human rights violations. That's kind of just what I'm focused on. Like it's frightening. It's legitimately terrifying that we have a president who's willing to even consider the possibility of eventually deporting fully fledged U.S. citizens.
Now, I've literally tried not to listen to the news much just because
Fair.
it don't matter what station you turn on, it's either depressing or it could be biased. So I listened to some of the stuff on TikTok, on my Facebook, but it wasn't, if I'm not mistaken, that guy that people are upset about that Trump deported that
Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This is not the only example, but also let me fill you in a little bit, just because of the exposition here. Kilmar was not a full U.S. citizen. Kilmar did not have permanent legal residency, but he did have temporary protected status due to a judge's order that he should not be deported to El Salvador for protection. A judge legitimately believed that he had a reason to fear for his life should he be returned, but also his asylum case was rejected for reasons that I do not know offhand, so I'm not even going to go there. But he did have temporary protected status and was deported anyway. That's the whole deal with him, really.
My only issue is with everything, like I said, I don't follow the news a whole lot just because I get sick of hearing all the stuff. Anyways, I just don't want criminals here. To me, us as American citizens, we should not have to watch over our back who enters our country, especially illegally. They should all come, if they want to come here, definitely be legal. I'm not for them not coming at all. If they want to come, just do it the legal way. That's all I ask.
Do you support the asylum process?
Do I support the asylum? No.
Okay, so that is a legal way, though.
Okay.
Right.
As long as, if it is 100% illegal, that is completely fine. I don't want them coming here, then seeking asylum. They need to stay where they're at and come here legally. And once they get their documents, then they can come.
Okay, yeah, but the asylum process literally says, like, this is enshrined in law. You can enter anywhere, claim asylum, and then you can have your day in court to be heard out on that.
Gotcha. Well, then, as long as it's legal, that's all I care about.
Okay, awesome. Then, yeah, I think we're on the same page. I don't support violent criminals being here either, right? To be honest, if you're here actually, making lives worse, get out.
Yes, if you're here to better yourself and your family, and also, even if those guys come, even if they come here and want to work their asses off and send money home, more power to them. As long as they're legal, I don't care, because some of the best workers you'll find are Latinos.
Yeah,
and they're good people.
Yeah,
not all of them are good, just like American people.
Yeah,
not all of us are good. Some of us are bad. Some people are criminals. Some aren't.
It's true. Yeah, and but the main thing is everybody deserves due process, right? One more thing about this is if say somebody gets caught, an undocumented immigrant gets caught committing a violent crime, right? If they're not given, they should still be given due process. They should still be sent to court, go through the system, and receive an actual adjudication, right, before they get deported. And I'm saying that because if they don't, then where's the justice for the victims of the crime?
No, and I understand. I exactly see your thing, but to me, obviously this is where we would butt heads, but don't need to fight about it. If they commit a crime, to me, they should go back immediately. But I understand what you're saying.
Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, I think on that note, we mostly see eye to eye on this particular issue.
And again, I will apologize for how hot and hostile I came off at you.
Yeah, no worries. To be honest, yeah, I expect most people to come up that way. It's the rare individual that I actually try to bring back down from that. And I do thank you for, at some point, snapping out of it.
Right.
And
Well, it was good. It was good talking with you.
yeah, it was good talking to you. Have a great one. I will gladly have you back up.
All right,
and
sounds
until
good.
then, stick around, man.
Take it easy.
Yeah, you too. All right. Yeah. I didn't push him too hard. I was very grateful that he actually snapped out of that initial look. I push most people as hard as you want me to, but once he was actually willing to talk about this, I wasn't going to push him too hard, right? We do need to actually bridge a gap with people who are willing to do it. So you can't fight so hard on everything all the time that nobody's able to, come into the fold eventually. Hey, thanks for the party favors. Thank you. If you haven't followed, do so. We are actually looking for legitimate discussions here. As unbelievable as it might seem sometimes, I know a lot of guests come in with the intent to be centered, with the intent to steamroll, with the intent to spew misinformation. I do not allow that to happen, no matter the cost. I have gotten banned before. I do have a backup account. If one of these days a night goes too weird, you might see me crop up on that. I know TikTok's pretty good at bringing you back to me somehow, even if I'm on another account. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how the algorithm works, but you might see me on a backup account one of these days if things get too strange. But in the meantime, if you're MAGA, I do want to talk to you about Trump. I want to talk to you about why you still support him, how you can still support him. If you want to get crazy, we can talk about the past. We can talk about his first term. We can talk about before that, when he was shown to, deny housing based on skin color. He called for the execution of the Central Park Five, even after they were exonerated via DNA evidence. We can talk about the actual SA case. Actually, it's a grape case. Just by definition, they couldn't call it that due to the technicality in the law where it had to be a male member that penetrated. Thank you so much. Howdy, partner. That's what I meant to say. I gotta get myself in the mood here, We are looking for those hats. I do love those hats, if anybody's feeling super generous. If you're MAGA and you do not see the request button, I will gladly invite you. Just send a comment in the chat that makes it clear that you're MAGA, such as, but not limited to, She Loves Brodine's comment, love the hair girly. Obviously, MAGA, I will gladly invite you. I did invite you, and you did not accept, so I assume you're a coward. That's fine. Did we get you with that? All right, how are you doing?
Oh my god. Oh, I love your hair.
How old are you?
Oh my god.
Okay, if you're gonna have to get kicked in 3 seconds if you don't say how old you are.
Please touch me.
Okay, yeah, you're kicked. Great. All right. That's your average MAGA. Very indicative of the race that we're talking to. MS-13 are by gang rules tattooed heavily with significant signs of affiliation. Are they? Because as far as any reporter has said, there is no requirement of tattoos to be affiliated with MS-13. As far as any news agency has ever reported. So just putting that out there. You don't have to lie, right? Oh, and then you put 21 in the chat once you've already missed your chance. Great job. Good try. We're not having you back after that. You squandered it. Soiled it. He just wanted you to kick him. That is true. He actually, what the plan is he wanted me to kick him and then try to tell me the age, because then I would have him back up. And if you have a guest back up after kicking too fast, you can't kick them. TikTok won't let you. You can only kick somebody like once in a minute, right? So then they get like a whole minute up here to try to get you banned. That's the ploy there. Just in case anybody else does this and doesn't know about that, don't take somebody up right after you kick them. Don't even take them back up in the same live. Just telling you. So the media knows better than law enforcement? Yes, actually, probably. Yeah, because they get their information from every source. Law enforcement will literally lie to you for no reason. They will, as part of their job, they will lie to you. Law enforcement isn't your friend. Law enforcement will tell you lies to get you to admit to something, even if you didn't do it. That's what happened with the Central Park Five, in fact. That's why they were later exonerated based on DNA evidence after they confessed, right? They were held in rooms for between 13 and 30 hours, depending on which one it was, given very little food or water, in a hot-ass fucking room, being interrogated constantly until they felt like they had to confess. And then they were later exonerated due to undeniable DNA evidence and a confession from somebody else. So yes, law enforcement are not there to protect you. They're not there to help you. They are there to protect the property of the rich. They don't care about you. They're there to protect the property of the rich and also to fill the prison systems with free labor, or effectively free labor. It's very, very cheap. They do also need to be restricted from lying to the public, actually. Yeah, they do. And they do. We also need to end qualified immunity. No, I'm not taking you back up. She loves Brodeen. I'm not taking you back up. You missed your shot. You can come back up on the next live. Good try. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now you get blocked because you're just continuously requesting. I did already tell you you're not being accepted back, so good try. We'll have you back. I will unblock you after this live, and you are welcome to come back up and try again on the next live. The rule is, if I have to kick you, you're kicked for the entirety of the live. Apart from very, very special extenuating circumstances that are completely up to me. Basically, like the line from Alice's Restaurant anti-massacre movement, son, do you feel that you have rehabilitated yourself? Is basically the requirement. That's what I said. You're just wanting another story from it. Yeah, I got more. What are you talking about? When I said U.S., I mentioned me and the guy deported. Oh, when I said us, I mentioned me and the guy deported. Sorry, everybody says us for U.S. Like they just type us. Where the MAGA at today is a good question. We're running out of them again. I've been having this problem where we can go for about 90 minutes, and then MAGA runs dry. It is what it is. Who else do we got in here? Brushy Bill Roberts, highly doubtful. So does the news. Yeah, the news doesn't really. Some of the news lies, right? There are sensationalist networks that lie all the time, but most news networks are actually trying to report facts. Whether or not they're always facts, obviously not. Like, right? There always have to be corrections put forward to the public after stories are told. Not everything can be correct 100% of the time. That's just people making mistakes. But most reporting agencies are actually trying to report in a way that is consistent with legitimate truth. Most of them. Fox News doesn't. You could argue that CNN doesn't. You could argue that MSDNC is illegal, as Trump has argued. But most reporting agencies are actually trying to find the truth and report it to people. They've ruined their credibility. How? How though? Your invites are off, or I would invite you to talk about it. we might, what is it, 10:48? I think I'm going to restart. Really quick. We've, our main source of viewers has dried up. We need MAGA. We actually, I hate to admit it, but we need MAGA up here talking about their leader to generate viewership. So I'm going to restart real quick. If you haven't followed, do so real quick. I will be right back. I might take a couple minutes to get a drink, but I will be right back. If you haven't joined the team, do that as well real quick before I leave. And if you want the notification for when I go back so that you can just keep doom scrolling in the meantime and you will still know when I come back on, you go to my profile, hit the bell in the top right, and make sure all is chosen under that second section for lives. And you'll get the notifications. That's on my profile, on the up there somewhere, there will be a bell. Tap that bell, and then on the second section for lives, make sure all is chosen. And then it'll say, Goldilocks invites you to view as live. All right. And I will be back very shortly. And until then, stay golden. All right? You too, YouTube. Any chat? Oh! Hey, Goldie, thank you for sharing facts and spreading the truth no matter how much they won't accept it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think that's my first YouTube live chat. Like, I swear to God, I have never seen a single message come up in there. I will make sure that it is more visible in the future. Thank you so much.